Hi, Mr. Kuti. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to welcome you to Electronic Music Life, and I been a big fan for many years, and I've DJ'd opened up for you a long time ago. So this is an honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
And I would like to just talk to you quickly about your family. I know that you've throughout your life, all through your family has been quite a social and political activism through music. And what was that like as a child, sort of growing up and being sort of exposed to that?
Well, at times frightful, frightening, fearful, sad. Some joy, love, especially around my mother, lots of love around my mother. School, too many fights. I didn't like school. Wow. And then always uncertainty about what will happen to my father next. Never knew what will come next. Very turbulent life.
And these was this prior to when you went to move with him, and during?
Yes, it was prior to moving in with him, because we'll be at home and we'll hear the police have come, and it was, you never knew when they were coming. And then the beatings he went through, I mean, I'm sure practically every bone on his body was broken from his head down. The burning of the house, I was coming back from school, so I met the soldiers already about to attack the house, and I had to run to tell my mother about this. Moving in, then I was involved in some of the raids. So, I mean, anytime you heard the siren, it was, are they coming here? Is it an attack on Fela again? So it was lots of fear. And I was like, all this that happened from 73, so I was like 11, and all the way to 82. So, and this was, you could say, the most, how would I say, this is my growing up part of my life. So it is, along the way, I've tried to just lock it out of my mind and focus on immediate things in my life right now.
Of course. And did this, because you joined your father's band at a young age as well.
Yes.
And you've also been politically and a social activist through your music. Was this part of was that an inspiration to kind of carry on that kind of legacy, or to do that yourself?
No, I wasn't carrying. I'm just doing what I want to do. So it's not I'm forced to do it, or I wasn't thinking of the legacy. Yes, right. The legacy, whether I do that or not, I will be part of the legacy, as he's my father. We come from a very long line of musicians. We traced our generation now, 7 generations of musicians. And so I don't like the word activist used on me, because I just think I am just somebody very concerned about things that happen around me and globally.
Yes.
So I think when I'm labeled active, it just doesn't sound right. So I don't like it. I prefer, I'm just concerned. Like I think everybody should be.
Yes.
So to say everybody was an activist. It just seems like they're just putting a label on. I think everybody should be concerned about climate change. Everybody should be concerned about poverty, injustice. And probably if we were concerned, then we'll solve these issues quicker.
Yeah. And just because you're being concerned doesn't mean you're an activist. You know, exactly. I totally understand what you mean.
I mean, we have activists that just take they're opportunists.
Yeah.
They want to be in the media, so they make a lot of noise. They are not really. Many activists have won elections and done the same thing as their predecessors. So what's the point? We need people that truly love humanity, people that are truly concerned, and people that truly want to solve issues. Yeah.
I first came across just the Kuti family and the music through your music first. You were the doorway that I heard the music first, and it was through dance music, through electronic music, and so I went down the rabbit hole, and I started to learn more about family and started to learn about the history and it's been something part of my whole musical journey and been a huge influence on me. Because you were working a lot with a lot of hip hop and dance music artists in the early 2000s and have continued. Was that that whole culture, that side of dance music culture, was that foreign to you, or is it something that you were aware of and it was easy to kind of like collaborate with all those kind of artists?
I was aware of it, but Bang 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 was so massive. I mean, it was huge, and the album was well recorded. We had Barclay Records, who was a sister company of Universal, so they put all the machinery, and I just saw. I am one that takes opportunities when they come by. If I see this is going to be very productive in the future, or it's so important to use this to open this door, or for this reason, even if it seems bad at that time, I will still take it, because I know that in a few years' time it will be very important. So this Barclay were there, and they put all this money, and it was the album Shocky Shocky. The hit track was Bang Bang Bang, and they said, "Oh, let's put it out there." Am I ready for that? They were going to put it in house music, reggae. So that means every DJ, every disco, everybody will hear Bang Bang Bang. And this will draw them to hear the album. This will draw them to hear the original Bang Bang Bang. And I saw that opportunity and I said, wow, this will be awesome. This will be great. And it now became an opportunity for me to meet great DJs and great mixers as well of different kinds of music, like Chinese men. So a lot of them did wonderful, I'll say, changed it in their own respective ways. I love some of them. Some of them were very far out, but I mean, that was their audience. So to capture that attention, who is this guy? Okay, man. And sometimes it even took me a while to know it was I'm sitting so I just say, bang, bang, bang. That sounds like me, but that's not my music. Bang, bang, bang. Say, okay. It was weird sometimes, but very interesting.
Yeah, because I like, for me, I always loved the, I heard you playing it just now, and the soundcheck was the Truth Don't Die, but it was like the Kerry Chandler mix.
Yes.
And you've said that, so that whole, that was
another track they put out there. I mean, I think a lot of DJs too ask permission to just experiment with there, and this happened a lot. But Shocky Shocky album, you could say, was the introduction to new dynamics with the Afrobeat and it brought so much interest because before that it was Yeke Yeke. But for Afrobeat, it was so important because then it opened the door with hip hop. The next album, Fight to Win.
Yeah.
And my father had just passed, so there was so much interest.
Yeah.
So I just seized that opportunity to open so many collaborations, as many collaborations.
Yeah.
But not getting lost because I still wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to be an artist that was just collaborating. I'm very I'm like a hermit. I like to be by myself. I like to do my things. I like to present I didn't want a situation where if Most Def wasn't around, I couldn't perform or this. So I didn't want to lose where I was coming from. So I thought it was very important to do those one-offs, but still keep my mind together with what I wanted to do.
How'd that come about, meeting, like collaborating with Mos Def, Common, those guys, Yasin Bey?
I think more because there was this project, Red Riot.
Yep.
And they were doing this with D'Angelo.
Yep.
And this recording was happening on the day of the MTV Awards. So all the hip hoppers were at this award, and they got wind that D'Angelo and I were having a recording.
Right.
Get a tribute to my father, Fela. And after the performance, everybody came. So the recording now became a big party.
Right.
So everybody was there. Missy Gray, Angie, Alicia Keys, Erykah Badu. So many artists were there. I mean, name the artists they were. I met them. We became like friends. I mean, they wanted to know more about Africa because I noticed that the news was not true news coming out of Africa. It was just negative. So I was letting them understand why. That, yes, there's a lot of negative news, but the negative news is because we have very negative governments. But the people, given the opportunity, the people will excel beyond reasonable doubts. And we have a very vibrant young generation, which I had come from. But see, I made something out of my life. We had great African athletes, great African surgeons. So I was letting them know. So they were seeing it from hearing the news from a different perspective, which was, I would have said, the real truth about the news coming out of Africa.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, like all those years that have passed now, the music it still seems to be attracting new people. Like people are still kind of finding out about you, your father, your brother. Like it's
I think
interesting.
there are many millions in the world.
Of course.
And more people are being born. I was thinking about it the other day. I've been performing now for 4 decades.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to turn 61 now. I was walking down the stairs and my knees have started to give way. And I was coming down the stairs and I said, ouch, that pain was so sharp. And my daughter says, Daddy, you're getting old. Shut up. I think I don't know. What time. I mean, I think that's the beauty of life, where you look back. And as an artist, you can account for your life, really. The albums let you go back. You can know this was in 1998. You can, this Fela 97, the album Zombie, what happened then. You can really see what happened along that period. So I think that's why arts is so important, because we just go through life. But music puts those commas and full stops where we can stop and takes us back and see, even if it's sad memory, it's what propelled us to where we're at now, how our mind was or our environment.
Yes, yeah. It's almost like a timestamp or like a capsule of what was happening at that time.
I like to reflect like that a lot, and because 2000, okay, this happened 2000. In 2008, the album Day by Day, or wow, what was Nigeria like? So
yeah. But it's interesting too, what I find when I go back and look and hear people who with strong voices and hearing their message back then and how relevant it still can be today, like the same kind of messages, you know? And it's interesting how that we can find that some things have changed, but some things don't, you know, like when we talk about what's the concerns in the world, you know, some things, you know.
Yeah, I think this has to do with basically the education we receive is wrong. I think the education we receive is very selfish, self-centered. It's all about me, I want a car, I want this, I want. Grab. And when I reflect and understand where I come from and my heritage, it was more about community. You see, in my language, it would sound quite stupid or foolish to be saying my car. I mean, it just sounds ridiculous. So even you don't say my wife, you say our wife. We use more of our.
Right.
Our wife, our children. You don't say my child.
Right.
Because your child grows up in a community. That child is everybody's child. Yes. We all have to look after the children. Right. It's our responsibility to take care of the children. It's our responsibility to take care of our wives. It's our responsibility to take care of our husbands. It's our responsibility to take care of the garden. It's our responsibility to take care of the farms. So everybody looked out for everybody. So this is how the African life was, and this is how we grew up.
Yeah.
And then education, Western education, and all this new way came, and school, you must come first, and it don't help. And I find something wrong. If I were in charge of education, I would have said, if anybody fails in that class, then you all fail. Because what happened? Why did you not take him along? He probably would have been the best surgeon amongst everybody, but because you didn't let him, he wasn't taught properly. So when you are in a classroom, it has to be collective learning. Even if you do take the exam, there has to be a certain average in that class.
Yeah.
And when you fall, if anybody falls below that average, the whole class must pay.
Yeah.
Because nobody looked out for that student.
Are these traditions that you're talking about, is this something that is still today?
No, it's not. It's why why Africa is failed, is why the world is, this is centuries and centuries of, you go all the way to Egypt and understand the culture of that time from my books and probably my thoughts as well. What is the best way forward for life? And through practicing, these ideas come that it should be like this. Why would you feel good because you came first and everybody failed? But that's the attitude we have. Yes, I'm the best student. I'm better than you. I'm going to get the best job, but you're going to get the best job and you're still going to live in a dump hole. So wouldn't it be more beautiful if we all were all happy? The happier we are, the more beautiful the world would be. So that education from that classroom, every parent wants his child to be the best. Every parent will do everything to make sure his or her own child is the best and not look out for other children. So it's that education that started this, and I think it's wrong.
It's like a competitive almost.
Yes, very negative, competitive. It can be competitive but positive.
Yeah.
Where even who wins, we all smile and we're all happy.
Why do you think this has happened?
Because the leaders of the world have that greed and corruption in their DNA.
Down.
That's trickled down over centuries and with the industry and everything. So I was asked this same question ages ago, and Haiti, for instance, the earthquake.
Yes.
If we had good education, the World Bank, United Nations, world governments would have come together. Wow, earthquake, destroyed practically the whole country. What will it cost to write off that debt? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing There is no excuse for poverty today.
Yeah.
The United Nations, all the bodies, UNICEF and everybody around find it so difficult. I'm on the flight here yesterday. And again, the airline saying, donate for the poor children. They've been doing this for 40 years. I've been traveling. Donate for the poor children. Always. When are we going to not have to say that anymore in our lives?
Yeah.
So we could have gone, look, it would have created so many jobs. There's so many doctors without work. Pay them well, engineers, build Haiti. Then you still have to maintain that system for them. You still have to groom people because many people probably died from the earthquake or whatever. And to put that nation back on its feet, that it doesn't become dependent on anybody and it can start to sustain and contribute positively to world development should be the goal of the United Nations, World Bank, and all these people. But till now, Haiti is not on its feet. As we can say for any nation that has a my English.
It's okay.
Any bad event like earthquake or tornadoes or whatever that go through catastrophe. So why? Then it takes the world so long. There should be an emergency like the fire engine coming. When there's fire, solve, over. Over, out. But we just go. It's as if these bodies just want to maybe they enjoy it. Maybe they are they are into S&M or something. They just like to see others in pain.
Right. Sadistic.
No, how can you? No, then there's another war. Another war. Ukraine and with all the problems, another war. Please, what brings about another war? To see people being killed again. I'm not discussing who is right or wrong, but another war. Then we're all hearing about climate change, then another war. And we know, and I like to use this example, assuming the world is a head, and you keep knocking the head, throwing bombs. Then you're telling people about climate change, but you keep causing more problems by bomb. And then you're telling me about climate change. And you, world leaders who are supposed to be talking about climate change, are the problem of climate change. Is that not the education? Is that education that brought about those kind of leaders? So, of course, the education is a failure. An education that you are waiting to have an operation, you don't have the money, and the society doesn't care if you die. If you don't have insurance, you don't. What kind of education is that? So the whole foundation of that education is wrong, where they even say, like, there is healthcare. Only some people are privileged to that, and they don't care. As we speak, look at the Congo, the phones we use. We're sending love texts, but we don't care that you need the resources from Congo to make that phone work. And I've been saying this now for over 30 years. The Congo is still worse off. A lot of people are even still talking about the Congo, but it's still worse off because they need the quota from the Congo. So, as long as Congo is at war and they are dying, but we can use the phone, we don't care. That's not education. Congo should be one of the richest, if not the richest, places on earth. But we don't care.
Yeah.
Education makes us pretend that we care. Oh, but the next minute, we're making love.
Yeah.
Next minute, we're in the dance hall.
Yeah.
That's that education produce the kind of leadership we have globally today.
I guess with your music and through music, this is the power that is in the hands of people like yourself that can actually make change in some way, or at least bring awareness to this other side of the coin. You know,
maybe it's very I think it's still little.
Yeah, of course.
It's still little. What voices like mine
I understand.
can do, still very little, because it still comes to power.
Yeah.
What the United Nations can do is so enormous compared to what even the greatest musician, or no, not greatest, most popular artist can do. Okay, so what? Even if you influence or people are inspired, and even if you all riot on the streets, if government doesn't change, it still remains. And even when you change government, if you manage to change government, and government still has that attitude of that basic education I'm telling you about that is so negative, gets there, we're back to square one again. So what have we been doing? We have just been perambulating, going in circles, pretending, thinking that the world is moving, but really, we have just been in the same place, getting worse in that same spot, going round, changing leaders, but there's no improvement. And before you know it, like I keep saying, 40 years, I can account for my life, but will I say the world is better off? I can't say that.
Yeah.
We're coming to Australia. The airline's killing us. We're having a tour in May. And we wanted to buy tickets. We can't buy tickets because we are booking the tour. And the ticket starts from $500. And before you know it, it's $1,300. And you are supposed to go on tour, you're supposed to make money. But every day the tickets go up. Everything, food is going up.
Yeah.
Everything is going up, but your salary is either stagnant or getting lower.
Yes.
And the world leaders see this and they have no answer. I don't even think, maybe they don't even have the brains to solve these problems anymore. No, really. I mean, I don't think there's any leader.
This is why I brought this up before. Like I was saying to you, the message is still the same.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we're still like talking about the same
things. The human
things.
mind, because of the education we have, does not have the capacity to even deal with those issues. Because when you look at it deeply, there's no leader that wants to be unpopular. And they don't set out to be unpopular. So they go there wanting to solve, but when they get there, they don't even have an idea of how to solve it when those problems start coming, because that educational system has not taught them how to even deal with those problems.
Yeah,
they don't even have the humanitarian capability or attitude to deal with it, because they have not been trained in that respect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that is why the classroom must produce leaders. Not one leader. What do you want one leader for?
Yeah.
Every individual should be
a leader in their community.
All themselves.
Yes.
Why are you going to come and lead me? How are you going to lead me? What? You want to lead me how to use the toilet? So I must be a leader. I must know how to take my bath. I must be able to lead myself.
Yeah.
I must have the capabilities to lead myself. And that's what education should be. And when I have that capability and we're all leaders respectively in our professions and blah, 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 and we understand what virtues of how to be a human being, what it means to be a virtue, those virtues, we lack virtues, compassion, we lack all that. If we didn't lack it, Russia and Ukraine will not be in war today. The Congo won't be the way it is today. So we lack all those things, patience, love, good attitude, things like this. Education doesn't teach you that. You learn that probably from reading books, and then you have to self-train yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
But that should be in the schools.
Yes.
Virtue should even be a subject. If you are going to come as a doctor, if you don't have compassion to be a doctor, you can't get that degree. And only a teacher that has compassion and knows that attitude will be able to tell what students must come out of that class to practice. To first say, I must save a life before I think of wealth. And even in musicians, we don't go into music because you want to be famous. You have already failed. Why? What do you want to do with fame? What do you want to? Why do you want to be famous? Why? What? Tell me. Oh, to be arrogant, because the fame is going to bring arrogance, and then you think you are the best thing that's happened on the face of this earth. Then, for me, you are failed as an artist. First of all, you have to understand you are a medium that higher forces use, and you must pass that message or music to inspire others. Then is it your message if higher forces are using? So you are just a medium. So what's the arrogance there for? What's the bad attitude for?
No, it's ego, right?
Thank you. So it's from that education. And this education has been rammed down our throats through media, through everything.
Creating the
TV.
Desire for
Yes.
those things, yeah.
So I think we've probably got it back to front.
Yeah. So you've started obviously touring again now.
Yes.
This is your first tour in a while. Have you got a lot of tours this year?
It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't complain. If I didn't even have a tour, I wouldn't complain. I was thinking it's for a good reason.
And any good any exciting DJs and producers that are doing any remix work that you can share?
No, not
Okay.
yet. I'm still trying to work on my next album. You see, I've done 11 albums right now, and I'm like, I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to be monotonous. So if I don't have something that is showing me I've developed, then it doesn't make sense to me. So the music, it has to be
relevant and
and I have to feel that, okay, it means I've developed from where I was last time. So with all the songs and everything I've said, and I'm tired of repeating myself. So I'm thinking of how to re-say some things or make it easy. I'm working on it. I'm working on the next album.
Well, Mr. Kuti, it was such an honor to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with me and share all that knowledge and wisdom there. That was very nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.